time to finish this one off. Thought I'd just show you what it takes to shape a knife handle. I'm going to speed this process up. I'll speed the video up rather. Unfortunately I wish I could speed up the process, but I can't. But I can speed the video up. So the blade has been taped up, but prior to that it was covered in Vaseline, and whenever I work on the blades up to this point I have them all covered in Vaseline, like that one there, it's got Vaseline on it, and then I put cling film over that, and I find that that doesn't mark or cause the blades to rust. If you just tape a blade up like that and leave it for 2 or 3 days, when you come back it will have tarnished the blade, and it's just not good. So I only tape the blade up when I intend to finish the knife. So this knife will be finished in about 2 hours, about an hour and a half to 2 hours work from this stage to get this knife finished. So that's what we're going to do now. Now I'm just going to zip off these are leverless bolts fitted to this knife. I'm just going to zip these leverless bolts off using the bandsaw, the brass, so I can cut with a wood cutting saw, and then we're on to shaping the handle. A little tip, you'll notice that whenever I'm working on the handle, I'm not holding the handle in the same place for too long on the grinder, because that builds up heat, especially close to metal fittings, heats the metal fittings up. Next thing you know, you've got a burn mark into the wood. So I will always keep it moving, and I'll work on a little bit there, take it down a little bit, turn over, work on that side a little bit, take it down, maybe work over here a bit more, let this all cool down as I'm working. As I'm working somewhere else on the handle, these parts of the handle are then cooling down, and then I can go back to these parts of the handle, start working on them and taking them down to the dimensions that I want. So the handle is oversized now. It's oversized by about 1 mil in all sort of like directions really. So it's at that point that I change from this coarse grit belt, which is 36 grit. I use the same rough coarse grit belt for wood as I do metal at this stage, because the coarse grits cut well on wood to start off with, and then when they dull slightly I transition them over to metal. So I'm now going to change to a finer grit belt, so R1. This is an 80 grit, and this just takes the real rough scratches out. But this is a Cubitron belt. Cubitron, very expensive belts, but they are by far the best belt I've ever used. So I'm happy with the dimensions of the knife at the moment. I just want to take these little facets down, and I'll do that on the smaller wheel and then move on to the hand shaping and sanding. First of all, I need this belt on the other grinder. So that's it, the handle's now roughly shaped, still slightly oversized but not by much, and it's onto the hand sanding. Now onto the hand sanding. This is a bit laborious, this section, because lots of action with the arms, and at one point this caused me a bit of a problem. I developed an RSI injury in my elbows, and it meant that I had to slow down and not do as much knife making for a little while. But thankfully, the last few weeks the pain in my elbows has gone away. I think that was due mostly to the bit of a rest that I took, but also the fact that I think certain foods can cause inflammation. One of the foods that I've had to cut out of my diet totally are seed oils and margarine and rubbish like that. So now I just don't have butter, and that was causing inflammation. So yeah, I'm almost like a young person again. That'll never be. Anyway, here we are. Let's go and get some sandpaper. I'm working with strips. I think this is about 60 grit at the moment, so very coarse. And it's just a matter now of sanding that to shape. Got to use the dust mask. This dust mask, it seals from the top of the forehead and causes positive pressure on your face, so no dust particles can get in. to the point now where I need to sort out the internal radii. There's a tight internal radii there, and then an internal radii there which isn't quite so tight. Simple thing to do now to get into those areas is to split the abrasive down to a thinner strip, then you can work into those areas. Don't know if you can see it there, but I'm starting to get a rub line, a rub mark across the tang of the knife. That's a witness to me, that tells me how far I've gone, and I want to keep that rub mark even, but I don't want to go much further than that. So I'm quite happy now with the shape of that. It's not quite properly symmetrical yet. We'll even it up on the wheel later on. Could do with a bit more. There's no witness marks going across the tang here at this point, so I've got a bit of a flat on the wood still, so I can afford to do a bit more sanding on this section. Got witness marks there, but not on this side. That'll do me for that area. Bit round here. For flattening down the pins, I'll use this wheel to get in to this area, and whilst I'm also using this wheel, I'll tidy up the tang of the knife. So to do that, I need to get access to the hole at the back of the knife, so I just simply cut the masking tape off like that. That allows me to get to the hole of the spine of the knife. P240 grip belt. As symmetrical as you can do. The spine all taken care of now, and leveless bolts at the back there. Now to do the leveless bolts at the front, we need a big radii wheel, big diameter wheel. Big diameter wheel gives you more of a tangent area to work on. Helps you keep things more accurately flat. Nice and slow speed to control. You don't need a lot of speed for this. My head's probably going to get in the way, not a lot I can do about that. Starting to like the dimensions now of this knife. A little bit wide at the front, still a little bit oversized. Not by a lot, but a little bit. I'm not too worried of it being oversized a little bit at the moment, because I have got to go through a few more grits, yeah, just checking symmetry of the front of the scales. They look not too bad. You do a little bit off of there. In fact, taking that little bit off will bring the knife into perfect symmetry. And dimension, of course. Yeah, a bit off there, I think. So I'm now finished with the machine work now. It's all down to hand sanding now. So there we are on the 280 grit, and it's the same process again that you've seen already. Running through the grits, going across. I'm still able to make slight adjustments to the dimension of the handle with the coarser of the fine grits, but not by a lot. And that's just a matter of going through all the grits, taking out all the previous scratches until the knife has reached its completion. When I'm working on polishing up the spine and the tang, I use a variety of mandrels. This, because of the internal radii curves, I find probably a 3/4 inch mandrel is good for getting in to there, and it's just a matter of toing and throwing, taking the scratches out and polishing it up. I'm still working on the 280 grit, but when I want to clean up the finger choil area, I go to a smaller mandrel, and it's so simple and so easy that I just use a drill bit, and this area of the drill bit, wrap my abrasive around it, and I've got a nice small mandrel for working in that area. Hopefully you can see that. And then for cleaning up the whole back of the knife, I've got this vise here that allows me to clamp the knife in there. I've got access to the whole of the knife now, from the pommel right to the tip, and I can sand the pommel as easy as that. Use the mandrel, and then I can go all the way along. First of all, I'll just start on the tang, take the scratches out, and then work the whole length so I get no transitions. So I've got to do that for every single grit until I'm happy with the finish. Forgot to mention not to forget to chamfer the sharp edges, because if you don't do that, they're prone to chipping. Well, the knife's almost finished now. Just polishing up the tang and the spine, and then the last job to do, well, almost the last job, just chamfer the lanyard tube. Then we give it a buff. I always buff the handles, that way it helps the grain to pop, but if someone doesn't like that buff smooth finish, then it's simply just a matter for them, the individual end user, to just slightly rough up the handle, maybe with a 600 grit or something, and then you've got a coarser textured handle. So each to his own, each to his own. Also at this stage, the buffing will show up any flaws. I just spotted. I didn't see it with my eye whilst I was sanding, but I still got some work to do just here. So back to the drawing board, but this knife will very soon be finished. So that was it. Another 5 minutes on the old grits to take out a few little blemishes, and the knife is ready to be unwrapped and cleaned up. What happens with this tape, if you leave it on for any length of time, I don't know if you can see it on the blade, you can see lines. It's where the tape is wrapped around, and if you leave it for any length of time, especially with the carbon steels like 01, it will form like an electrolytic reaction, and that eats into the steel, and it just spoils it. So I don't ever keep the knives wrapped in masking tape for no more than the minimum amount of time it takes just to shape the handles, and I only keep the masking tape on to protect the blade from the jaws of the knife maker's vice and from cutting me. The knife hasn't been stropped yet, but it's still a sharp edge. So just cleaning it up with WD-40. Clean the blade off. You've got to clean through the lanyard tube, and then this knife is ready for its leather work to be built. I've got videos on how to build leather sheaves, they're all on the channel. I must have covered every aspect of knife making now over the years, and to be honest with you, people keep asking me, will you show how to do this, will you show how to do that? The chances are, if you search in the back catalogue, you'll find videos on it. There's videos going back 12 years, 13 years on knife making, so I'm sure you'll find it. And I hope also you can appreciate the amount of physical work, you know, shoe shining and general sanding, and it does have a toll on your body. So that also limits the output of the knives. So there you are, one beautiful classic bushcrafter with a tapered tang. It's stabilised Massa scales, leverless bolts, black G10 liners, 01 blade, everything done by hand. One finished knife. I do hope you enjoyed that video of me shaping the knife handles. This is that knife I just finished. You saw it in the video there. So in total I've completed 5 knives. I've got one I still need to shape the handles on, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. I've got 5 classics finished. So that was the one you saw just now being shaped. So next week I shall have 6. I shall have 6 blades, 6 knives finished, and I've got buyers for 3 of them, I think. So let me show you the ones I've finished so far. Right, this is another one. They're mostly all Massa birch, but I have got one which is in elm. So there's another Massa birch knife. This one I think is spoken for. I know it's spoken for. This is going to my friend Ralph as a Christmas gift. So that's going to be for Ralph. The next one up is another plain Jane. I've got somebody, a very good customer, who was asked for a plain Jane. So again, this one's probably spoken for. Any knives that aren't spoken for, I'll be putting them on the website. Let's just clean the Vaseline. I do like to put Vaseline on the blades. It keeps the blades in really good condition. So there's another plain Jane. So if that person, I think it's Julian, maybe take a look at this knife and tell me if you'd like this nice plain Jane. Leverless bolts, no liners, stabilised Massa scales, beautiful hand finished blade, tapered tang, of course. All got tapered tangs. I taper the tangs normally Formula Classics. So possibly that one's for Julian. This was the only knife that was different in that it's different scales. This one had stabilised elm scales. So just clean that Vaseline off. So leather work for these knives, still waiting to complete the leather work. I finished 3 of the sheaves, 3 of them still need to be built up. So there's some more work to do yet before they're ready to go out. These will be ready to go out, I'd say, Monday or Tuesday next week. So this is a classic with stabilised elm. Red G10 liners, taper tang, leverless bolts. Again, that lovely hand finished blade. It's quite simple wood in that it's not highly figured, but it looks quite nice. The last knife I've got available to show you is, let's get that Vaseline off again. So this is the last knife to show you. Stabilised Massa birch, red G10 liners. Someone did contact me via Facebook asking for a knife with red liners, so I may email that person or message that person back, see if they want it, or if not, again on the website www.jacklaw.com over the next, probably Monday. I expect I'll be selling these Monday next week, which will be 11th of December 2023. So there you go. Beautiful classic knives. Hope you've enjoyed the knives, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm hoping to build up just one more batch of knives between now and Christmas, and they're probably going to be some whittlers, because I've had a few orders for whittlers in. I've got the steel in for some camp knives, but I just haven't got around to building the camp knives, and I was hoping to do those back in November, but they're going to be delayed until January now. As I say, I did have an RSI injury in both my elbows, but particularly my right elbow, but virtually no pain at all now, thankfully. So I think that's a change of diet which is responsible for that, and having to slow down a little bit on the knives, because I just couldn't do the knife making without it really hurting me. So that's sort of somehow sort of delayed me a little bit, somewhat delayed me a little bit. But anyway, probably going to get one more video on this channel before Christmas, so showing the next lot of knives, which will be whittlers, and then after that nothing until the new year. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.